the elders of this church, and we want to thank the missionary committee to give us this opportunity as Eagle's Wings Children's Village to come and share. It's an honor for me to be standing here. It means a lot to me to stand and speak before my parents. When I refer to my parents, I will be referring to Bill and Ann. They fostered me since 2003 to date. And I'm happy for the opportunity, and I'm glad to be sharing with you. I want to thank my wife. We've not been feeling good together with my daughter. She's not here. She's not feeling good. The parents-in-law had to take her. But she managed to come with me. Thank you so much. There is a lot to talk about Eagle's Wings, and I hope you bear with me what God has put on my heart. Probably if I got a chance, I'll be speaking for the whole day, and even the next day. My wife is there to remind me about the time, because she knows what I'm going to be talking about. I'm excited about it. She reminded me if I came here, speak very slow. It's a big opportunity, and I don't know whether the internet is now working. Wow. I'm not a good guy with the computer. My friend Kat will bear witness. So this whole technology being wired up, just like, okay, I'm happy to go. So I'm going to be sharing briefly about myself. I met Bill and Ann in 2003, and they took me on in 2004. And since then, they took me through school, university. I started working for Eagle's Wings when the organization opened in 2006. And up to now, he calls me and he tells me, Paul, it is your wife's birthday, don't forget. So he's still a father up to now, trying to mentor me to become a man God has called me to be. This picture here, this is typical when you go to Eagle's Wings to see with the kids. That's how they used to fetch water. My wife is a water engineer. She had to organize some people and they gave a donation. Now we have a borehole. We go pump the water, and the kids go with the jelly cans and fetch the water on their head, sometimes on their hands with the jelly cans. So that is how we've been getting water. We also have the water harvesting system now. We're trying to collect water from all the structures we have. So that is typical when you go to Eagle's Wings one day when you visit, you'll be able to see that. Can I have the next slide? When you go to Uganda, it's very hard to talk about Uganda and don't talk about the culture. Now that I'm in Canada here, I know how the culture is totally different. It's totally different. We have almost 42 languages spoken in Uganda. And just to give you a little background about Uganda, Uganda fits into Canada 26 times. So it's a very small country. But our population is bigger than Canada. So it's kind of a congested country. And we have still 42 languages being spoken. When you go to the north, you hear people speaking different. From the west, the central, and the south, the languages are different. There is some similarities from which region you come from, but it's very possible. Like, I don't hear sometimes what people from the north speak. I just feel like they're speaking a language I've never heard in my life, and I can hardly understand anything, regardless of how small the country is. Next. These pictures, it is so easy to see what you're seeing on the screen, and this is how we normally travel and the transport costs, the transport in Uganda. The one in the bottom, on my bottom left hand, is someone is cutting eggs. Up there, someone is holding a pig, taking for business. sugar canes on a bicycle. And this picture in the bottom right hand is what my wife took when she was going to work. So you could be stuck in traffic because of the cows, not because of the vehicles. So that is more onto the transport part of it. The next one. That was 2011. And I'm just next to Jeja Ann, my mom. I also want to thank this church so much, the youth group, for taking on my brother, Elijah, and for taking on my parents. When they came back with nothing. When I was hearing the pastor sharing the scriptures from Isaiah, when God say he calls somebody, but how he's going to go and what he's going to do, it is with that person. My parents left Canada, and they went with everything. They even sold their house. And to me, if you called me today and told you're going to go to Uganda, Paul, would you sell your house and go? I'm like, maybe no. But whatever God put on their hearts to go in Africa and Uganda in particular, how he called them, what he told them to do, it is between them and God. It is between them and God. A person like me, if I started sharing my background, I started working when I was 5. I was making bricks. 8 years, I was cutting timber and all that and stuff like that. So, coming to the table like that, sharing with these people, when I told my parents that I've got friends that are from Canada and my family gathered, they're like, watch out. You mean they're going to pay for your school fees? They're going to pay for your medical, food and everything? How? Why? You know, not because they didn't want this offer, but it was because this was too much of an offer that has never been seen. They told me to watch out. By that time, there was heart extraction in Uganda, and people will be killed and hearts are taken away, and because of that, and they're like, oh, you're healthy, maybe they're targeting you. Why? It was love that has never been seen. I'd never seen such love to me, and all that was too much into my heart, up to date, it is the love I saw these people onto me. They didn't know me. I can tell you the truth, Bill and Ann, they've never visited my home. Not because they didn't want, but maybe they had no... They took me on regardless of who and what is in my background. And they cared for me. So, to me it was too much, and also too much for my parents and my family to believe it's real. Till when they saw it happening. That is Elisha with mom there. That picture was taken, I think, in 2011. That's when I first saw my wife, and I didn't know where she was going to be my wife back then. It's also a big story. So, and still that is Treasure and Elisha. So, that was Elisha back then. And I thought they loved me so much, and actually I was like, I'm the son of the director. I was so proud of myself. But when I saw Jeja Ann taking care of Elisha, I thought I loved people. To me, it was a challenge. I said, no more. I don't think I love people enough. My brother was in a condition where he needed help, and mom was there to take care of Elisha, regardless of how he was looking like. I don't want to describe it. Seeing that young man now there, to me, has the choir was singing, "It is indeed Lord." It is him. To see me here in Canada standing at Old Bluff Church, it is God. It may not make sense to some of you, but it is indeed God. How can I come here? Let's go to the next slide. I hope you can be within the time. That is a typical meal back home. We normally grow maize, and when the maize is grown, it dries up, and we take it to the kneading place, and they knead it into powder. So we mix it with hot water, and it always goes good with beans. So that is a typical meal, mostly in the schools and mostly in homes in Uganda. As I said, different cultures have different favorite food. So when you travel to the north, you may say they have their own, central, western, all that. Next. Can I have the next slide, please? I think I'll keep going as the computers work out. We, at Eagle's Wings, the focus has been trying to raise the God-fearing students and also helping them with education. There is a lot. When I first met JJ Bill, he told me, "You're not an orphan. My parents are there." And the way I met JJ Bill, if I'm to describe it, it's also another big story, because he came with a mentally challenged student and said he's going to come to school, and it's like, how can that happen? And that's how I linked to him, because I was working with Nicholas, who passed away some time back, and that's how I joined Bill and Ann, and they took me in. And since then, I've been feeding at home up to date. With the kids at Eagle's Wings, when you want to see the true picture of a child in Eagle's Wings, look at me. These are kids that sometimes are picked from villages, no father, no mother, and they've been sometimes living with their relatives, and the conditions of how they live is not so clear, whether they're going to survive the next day, whether they're going to have what to eat the next morning. I remember when I was growing up at home, my mom had 9 of us, 9 boys. And food was a struggle. If you get what to eat tomorrow, you may not, and you don't know what's going to come. So when Bill was telling me how he felt on heart, he said he saw what he called an absolute poverty in Uganda. That's what broke him. That is on the other side of what happens in Uganda. Sorry, I will just go back to the slides. When you come to Uganda, please don't miss out to go visit the wildlife. So this is what you could easily see. The guy, the lion, sometimes they hide a little bit. They're hard to see, but if you get a chance. We went gorilla tracking with my wife. That was fun. We have the buffaloes there. The sunset is always beautiful. It's hard to go within a day with missing the sun. It's always there. Next. Now, this is Eagle's Wings. Yeah, sorry, this is my family. This is Savannah here. This one is a typical Canadian picture. And I don't need to explain a lot about it. The other one, that's when we were dedicating Savannah into the church. We took Savannah to Eagle's Wings on the far corner, it will be my left, right. So this is Savannah. The white people, we call them Muzungu back in Uganda. So that Savannah is taken to be like Muzungu child. So all the kids were gathering out to look at her. And she was like, what's happening? Anyway, next slide. So that is the mission statement for Eagle's Wings, seeking to bring Jesus Christ into the people's hearts and providing them with education, blah, blah. Next. Eagle's Wings, when it started, Jaja Bill told us, I'm sorry, Mom and Dad. I normally say Jaja Bill because that's the common thing. Name there. He's called a Jaja because he's an elder. It was divided in two groups. At first, he started with families, and the intention was to have 10 families, and each family was to have 24 kids. That is 12 girls and 12 boys. So the social workers had to go into the villages to look for these really needy children from the community to bring them in. And how they were brought in, they were always put on the website, and whoever got a sponsorship was picked from home. And I remember most of the challenges, what we used to go through. Sometimes there would be a need for some student, really badly need for him or her to come into Eagle's Wings, but it's not yet sponsored, and there was no funds. That was really tough to think and to see what to do. The decision had to be sometimes adjusted. And I think that is how my brother Elisha came into home. He wasn't put, but was like, he needs to come in right now. And there was no option, either let's think, oh, can we call so-and-so? Can we put him on the website? There is those challenges that now he needs to get out. Or else we may have some bad news. So it was split into families, children. We have an extension program, and that was mostly what we started with. Right now we have an extension program, graduates, university students, family children, and community. So we have some students I'll talk about from the bottom, the community ones. There are some students who can still be with their parents, with their relatives, and the condition is not so bad. Okay, they can be sponsored to come to school, but they can come from home because we do not have enough shelters out with the property. So those ones, sometimes the social workers will take them food once in a week to go see that they can have what to eat. And those are some of the community students. Most of them are sponsored, but they come from their families. But along with that, you need to take for them beds and so that they have where to sleep. They travel, they walk day to day to school. The family's children, these are the ones that live on site. Like I said, it was basically family children that used to come on the site, and they were all going to be there. So they had to get parents who are going to be taking care of these students. And remember, each family had 24 kids. 12 girls, 12 boys from different families, different cultures. Now, putting them together, it wasn't a very good dish to handle. Kids with different backgrounds, it wasn't easy, but God enabled us. I remember we lost one of the family parents, and Jija Bill told me to go and be a family father. I think I was 18 by then. And I'm in charge of 24 kids. Anyway, that's a big story too. Parents, we have only Savannah, we only have one daughter, and I know what it means, and I'm like, God, if it wasn't for your mercy, I don't think that would have been possible. So this is the school. This is the high school here. The high school students put on gray and white. That's their uniform, and those are the classrooms. We've been so lucky at Eagle's Wings. God has provided for the structures, and now we have the high school catered for, and those are the students. And in the upper corner there on my right hand are the primary in yellow and green. That is the time when they're going to have their lunch. So they're lining up. That's why you see some of the secondary students. That's the high school, and also the primary ones. The next slide. Typically in a class, that's what you will see. on my right hand, that's why kids sit and have their classrooms. Those are the desks. I think I've made 98% of all the furniture at Eagle's Wings now. So I'm happy that I got that opportunity. Next. Still, this is the primary, this is a nursery on my, sorry, I have to make sure I said the right hand. On the top, on my left, is the nursery temporary structure now, where the nursery students go attend. And these ones are having fun. That's the playground. We had some donors that bought a play structure, and we had to install it. And it's the same here. They're having fun. And these are also nursery kids playing. In the background, you would see those huts with some grass-thatched green. Those are the family structures. The families are having the green iron sheets and sometimes the grass thatch. We're trying to go away from the grass thatch because of the maintenance and the fear for the fire has a problem. Next. Okay, yeah, these still the same, mostly are pictures, but I'll talk about the one on my upper left. That is Regan. I'm sure he's also over there. He was a good friend with Elisha. Regan was also another one that had to be taken right away. No hesitation, no nothing. So he had to be taken on because it was critical condition. He's now with the Lord, and I hope to meet him again. Next. Still, now in the classrooms, the secondary students, there's no big difference. Still, they have the desks, and that's how education is conducted there. These ones are having fun. Maybe it's primarily it's like break time. We had some volunteers come on my lower right hand. Some volunteers come and play with the kids, and they always love it. So one day, if you go visit, don't forget to play with them some soccer. And soccer is the big game there. So next one. Students are coming to school. Probably those are sponsored children from an extension program. They are coming into school now. They always walk. I'm happy. Yeah, those one have shoes. We had, my wife was working on the fundraising for the shoes issue, and now we have some kids with some shoes to walking to school, but most of the times you would find them barefooted coming to school. Next one. Okay, so we chose this picture to show you what is happening. Besides me, this is Fatima. She's the first child that Eagle's Wings first recruited, I think, right? And right now, I think those dolls she's holding, the sponsor had sent her those dolls. And right now, she has graduated. She's now a staff member. She's working at Eagle's Wings. So it's good to see such. And to me, it is an answer to prayer. Next. We have Najib and Fatima. And Najib is another story. Now. We need to take him now. Or otherwise things may go bad. Fatima is now in charge of Najib. Is the mother to Najib. And Najib is special needs. He needs one-on-one. The next one. I don't want, if I talk about construction, it will take the whole day because I'm managing the construction remotely, but I felt like I should choose that picture. That's where we started from. Grass thatch, temporary structures, and I think Kat remember those structures. So we're moving on to the bricks. I've been managing this one remotely. And now what you see in blue, all the blue structures right now, we've been so blessed with the donation from some people. And we've been managed to have some good structures at Eagle's Wings. Now most of the staff members have moved in. The directors have the house. We have a guest house coming up. It has been fun managing it on the phone. And next one. That's the administration block. Those that love construction, that's the foundation. The bricks are made from clay. So when I said I made bricks, those are the things I'm talking about. Make them from clay, dry them, get firewood, pile them, and burn them till when they are ready to be used. Next one. This is how I dry the timber that is used for construction. On my upper left corner are the structures that have been constructed recently. I think we started in January, and we have all these structures. There are supposed to be 8 in total. There is one that is still undergoing. That is the far one is the managing director's house, Jonathan. The second one is the one of those structures we have for staff members that are single. This is another. The one with black is the head teachers, high school head teacher, and this one is another one for the singles. Over on the other side, where the car is another director's house. We have 4 directors at Eagle's Wings. I'll explain that as we come. So this is also like labor. Typically, when we are going to cut this timber, those people have got to carry it where the truck is going to be. We don't have those forklifters. Next. So among the staff, we have I think, 68 staff members now, Eagle's Wings employees right now. And these are some of the staff. She's the accountant on my left. The lady in the middle, she's going to be the one in charge of guest house. And the other one, I think the sponsors have already received some emails. She's the one in charge of, she's the secretary, in charge of sending emails and all that. The next one. So these are the directors at Eagle's Wings. I won't talk about this one. You don't know this one, I'm sure. And that one's the managing director, Jonathan and Alana, with their baby Holden. They have a second one now. This is Alan, Pastor Alan and Harriet with their family. And this is Rachel Nansamba. So that is the group of the directors. These people have done a really wonderful job. It is one thing to send donation and money in Uganda, but it's another to go live there and be on ground. It is really challenging. Jonathan and Alana have just moved into their new constructed house, and they have no running water. And they've got to scoop all the water from the jerry cans, try to flush whatever they've got to do. So it's a bit challenging down there, but they are happy to move in. They are really happy. Next one. So these are some of the students on the campus that have gone on the university and also other colleges. Some of them are doing teaching, mechanics, and so on. They are with Jonathan at the back, and Peter, the social worker, and the lady in red, she's also a social worker. This is the management committee. At the staff, they have the managing committee that will sit and say, okay, this is the amount we have. What should we do? What are the priorities and all that? Next one. Those are the family parents. We have 3 families, like I said. That is Daddy Geoffrey in family 2. This is Dad Elijah in family 3. And that is Julius with the wife in family 1. We lost the parents in family 1. So Julius, as they've come up, and this is the social worker, Peter, with the wife and the child. Those ones have been on ground even before the other structures were there. Next one. That is Dr. Harris McCris with Nance Nora. And they have a little clinic. There is a program to make it a big one so that they can have more. Right now they have more demand for more patients. Now we've been going through COVID. Some COVID patients would come knock on the doors like, we can't manage it right now. So there's still a need. The doctor has a plan for making the clinic bigger so that it can have more patients. Because we are into the village, there is always many people coming. Next one. That is our church. We still have a temporary structure church. We love it. That's where we conduct our church services. All the kids come to the church. Pastor Jonathan has been doing a good job, and Pastor Alan of preaching and ministering to the kids. We really need the gospel down there. Regardless of all that is needed, we need to sow the seed into the kids' hearts. So, next one. Challenges we've been having on the Eagle's Wings. I'll share with you after this. I think I was looking at the parable of the sower. When God sends you to go and sow the seed, how you go and sow, God may guide you. But remember, you're sowing on the people's hearts that are different. Like those seeds that went on the road, those seeds that went in thorns, those things that went on partially with some soil, but underneath there were rocks, and also those that went on a good rock, on a good soil. So, among the challenges we face, some students, when they grow up, there is challenges we face that they'll make poor choices. But we also have some good stories to tell. We've seen God working in their hearts. We've seen lives changing down there, and those ones keep us going. Bearing in mind, there's still challenges. We still have, like any organization, resources will never be enough. And we've also seen dependency, students expecting to be given. We've seen some element of some students like that. So we're trying to move away from sponsorship. This is your child, sponsor this child, into a general fund, that this general fund will make the directors down there to make decisions. Okay, this one should go this way, and this one should go this way, and things can continue that way. That way we want to fight the dependency, because people are like, my sponsor said. And we want to make sure things are done to avoid the dependency part of it. We will still need more donations, but we want it to go into the general funds, and the directors can always see where it should to be. And that is like sponsoring Eagle's Wings in general. Next one. This is Florence. She has graduated. She's a nurse. She's now also working. That is also Sarah with her friends. She has also graduated, and she has finished. And this is another way you can become part of Eagle's Wings. Like I said, journal donations. And we're having a challenge now because some students that were having sponsors into the primary and the secondary program at our schools. When they finish, they need to go for tertiary and maybe university. But we can't because of the funds, and sometimes the sponsors can't raise that much. So you find that some student who has the potential to go and start to become maybe a teacher, a doctor, a lawyer, there is no money to go help them go ahead because their sponsors can't afford to extend the amount that is required into those programs. So that is where you can help. When we have the general part of it, the directors can always choose, like I said before. Next one. That one this is what I was talking about. I will leave that story to you as a challenge to pray for us as Eagle's Wings. This is what happens. We come from broken families at the project, and when we go there, there's lots of challenges. I think like verse 9 says, deceitfulness, desires to become rich because we come from poor families. So these things always pull us away so fast, and we lose the track. I'm sure I'm beyond and above time, right? I can speak more, but I want to thank you so much for taking care of my parents. Again, old bruv, I've had my dad has always told me, they've helped me, they gave me a table, they gave me this. The only reason why JJ Ann is the way she is and JJ Build the way they are, it's because of me. Because they came and took care of me. They would have been here relaxed, enjoy, play with the grandkids. They got another family that is so huge, and they took over us. And by the time they came, they had to fight with their culture. I mean, I didn't know about white people. They didn't know about their culture. And this is how we just saw somebody helping, and we took all the pressure onto them. It's like someone drowning and see someone who's going to help them. Like, that's what happened. I'm one of those that are guilty of why mom is like that. But I thank God putting it on their hearts to come and take care of us. I don't know where I would have been today. I don't know whether I would be still alive or dead. Likewise, most of my friends back home. Life there is different. And I want to tell you, the youth and the young ones that are here, thank God you're in Canada. The world is full of challenges. I didn't get that love till when I met them. I didn't play with my father. You play with your father, what kind of game? My dad to hold my hand was when he's going, you know what? Spank you. You don't play with the parents. So this love I saw, to me, with all this ministry of Eagle's Wings, all that I've seen the most is love, hope, and the trust. The biggest thing to me has been love. I've seen somebody can love you regardless whether you're not a family member. Thank you so much. I can speak till when the cows come home about Eagle's Wings. You can still check on our website to visit Eagle's Wings. My wife, Jaja Bill, and I, we can answer any question regarding Eagle's Wings. May God bless you.